Good morning, everyone. This is Friday, March 10th, 2023. This is going to be prep, breadth, and indices and all the other good fun stuff here again today. More than likely than not going to end up being solo. Our buddy's got some other things going on, and so we'll just be going through this probably mostly by ourselves. We've seen we get a guest attendee, but we'll play it by ear. In the event, hopefully everybody was able to play the zones and stuff yesterday nice and clean. Before we get in, just remind everybody we're not financial advisors, analysts, or anything of the sorts. Do not take anything we say as recommendations to buy or sell anything at all ever. With that, we're going to go ahead and get right into it here this morning. And we'll start off by taking a look at SVXY. It was pretty nice yesterday on that one for us, at least in particular, the way we were thinking about it and got all prepared for it and whatever else. So, excuse me there. Pretty clear zones actually for today too, so it's kind of nice to see how it all lined up on there. And I'm going to change one quick thing here because on indices, well, I do have some backtest evidence to show that NVPOCs and stuff are useful. They're not quite as useful, and so I'm just going to turn that off here real quick. Actually, we'll leave that part on. I take that back, and we're just going to make this visible as false. Okay, so looking through these, take a look at them last night already in decent detail. So on the upside, right, you got a nice little zone there that kind of printed a lower high against on Thursday again, actually. So Wednesday and Thursday, both days we printed, or Tuesday and Thursday we printed lower highs against that monthly trend guide reversal, the weekly trend guide reversal, tying back to that 67.47 in early February. So we've got that is a zone. I'm going to come back and think about this quarterly trend guide just by itself here in a second. Right below that, you've got AR1 daily trend guide, third day in the row that's been trend guide. Then you've got WPP with some swing AV WAPs. And then you get into your photo ADR. That one is nice because that one there, in fact, shoot, I almost forgot something. Hey, good morning, all.
Good morning, good morning.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Fantastic, what are you?
Doing great. I started and then I realized I wasn't on the mic, though, with you here.
You're all good, man.
All right, I know you get some other things, so.
You'll remember that.
Yep. So at that trend strength rate, you get 20-day, high weekly, and VWAP. It's actually the sheet tier 1 for the days are right there, and the photo ADR, depending upon how we open. It looks like we're going to open down, so they'll just come down a little bit further, but it's interesting. It's just an observation we're making. When those are here, like, we do end up setting, just like the way trend strength works too, is like this ends up becoming bigger resistance. So I think we're going to see this across the board today with a lot of things. We'll just have to look and remind ourselves as we flip through them. That said, the that lower zone there, quarterly trend guide reversal 1 with gap fill, weekly trend guide 2, it's coming into the look, right? So you've got 50-day EMA, daily anchored VWAP from 16th and the 22nd, both happen to be in that same area on the gap fill. So that should be an interesting one. We're coming right into it here. Indices are getting a little bit of a push. That that should help SVXY here a little bit. We'll just have to wait and see. And then beneath that, we've got the trend guide reversal, the photo ADRs, and then you get your monthly trend guide, weekly trend guide 3 in there as well. So it should be pretty interesting. Like I said, I really kind of like in how this is lining up here with SVXY versus UVXY so far. Looking back at this, I do think we should go ahead and mark these as possible spots here, because you got a couple of swing AV WAPs here, and it did just slice right through that. I mean, hardly any hesitation at all. If we did come back all the way up here, like, I don't know if I would watch the wicks and stuff on that. I think I would probably look at it more like this and probably treat both of this quarterly trend guide reversal 2 and the WPP as divs. Just, there's not much else with them. I mean, you got structure through here, of course, but well, I think there's some good stuff there. But we're gonna carve that up there with SVXY. I guess I'll call out one thing here. So, did already adjust here late last night, this morning, this aspect of the this one. So I dragged it up to include the weekly trend guide 4, and then as you can see, removed one of the divs between the trend guide reversal zone and that lower one. I mean, there's some swing AV WAPs there. You can see them on the screen, so I keep an eye out. Right there, divs in between there. It's just I didn't really want to have that drawing stuff on the screen. I can see it on the chart, so but there are possible divs. That's at the AV WAPs. SVXY, VIX, SPY, Friday, March 10th. Okay, let's take a look at VIX here next. Okay, wow, they did have a nice little push yesterday. Talk about some candles there. There it is. I don't know why it did that on us. Okay, so what we got here? So we got annual pivot point, weekly trend guide 4 with horizontal ray, marking some historical structure at that 2560. Just below that, you've got quarterly pivot, weekly trend guide 3 with supply and demand, and then just it's really small below that area. You've got your trend guide reversal, monthly trend guide, your 200-day SMA, 200-week SMA. The tier 1 cheat OPEX are in that area, and then the photo ADRs do look to be gapping up a little bit, but 17 cents. I don't know how much you call that a gap, but it is still a change. You know, we did have, I mean, it was a massive candle yesterday, four plus bucks, so, and the full ADRs are up here as well. So we also marked the weekly trend guide 5, monthly trend guide 2. There's some structure just below that. And so, I mean, keep an eye out on that one. I mean, that's still within reach if you do another kind of back-to-back ADR day and we continue kind of pushing up. So just have to watch on that one there. ES at least seems to be struggling to get over its gap fill from yesterday, so that'll be interesting to keep an eye on here too. For this one, don't see trend strength as big of a thing. Really, this zone below it here, right, where you got weekly trend guide photo, 50-day, 20-day rising to join it, tier 1 day cheat, monthly pivot, and then some structure right at that 2024, 2025, I guess, level, should say. And then slightly below that even, you've got your just trend guide and weekly pivot. So I don't know how much I'd actually treat this full as a level per se. I'm looking at it again. It is there. You've got this week's lows. Last week's lows, actually. Tier 2 cheat for the day. Structure full. So yeah. What I don't really care for is how back to back these three zones are. I think you're probably gonna have to keep an eye on SVXY because these are pretty damn close, right? 24.19, and then you get up 50 cents higher, and then you've got your next kind of zone there on VIX. Same thing here, 25, and then is that, yeah, 25 bucks. Yeah, I guess that's not too bad. It's still 60. So I wouldn't, if you're watching this and trying to make a decision, I wouldn't give it as much play. You're definitely checking other things across the board. But in any event, I think that's how see it. Have to really watch here too. Like, what does it do? I mean, it came up and tagged the 30-week SMA yesterday. It looks like damn near to the tick, and that's part of also where it started to pull back. So see if it decides to push up over it or what it decides to do. Obviously, big thing today, right? There's NFP at, what is that, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. So that should be a pretty big one. That'll definitely be a market mover. I got rid of that zone. Yeah, that's right. I combined those two zones there. And kind of ignoring the trend strength. Got rid of that one as well, actually. Just focus there. Okay, SPY. Alright, so SPY, what we got? Of course, there'll be a trend line there, but it'll just be 2 touches, so I'm not going to even bother drawing it. Obviously, massive move yesterday, $10, $11 almost. It's pretty big. Oh, he even came pretty darn close to the tier 2 on the ADR extremes, the historical ones there too. It's definitely pretty good move. So let's see for today, upside. That's right. We made some adjustments here last night. So we adjusted to include annual pivot, monthly pivots into part of this zone here with the full ADRs. Then below that, the weekly pivots, 20-day EMA, which I believe actually if we anchor a view up here, pretty darn close, not exactly. Get rid of that one there. Yep, there's not. I thought the day VWAP was going to be pretty close there, but it's not. It's not quite on it. It is still a zone though, right? With the weekly pivots, 20-day EMA. And I think we had drawn a rectangle here at one point with some of the range box. Yeah, there's been some kind of mini supply and demand range stuff in through here, so it's definitely been an area of importance, that 400-ish area. Below that, right, you got 50-day swing AV WAP into that one, trend guide, photo ADR, and the tier 1 daily cheat on that particular one. And then right below is where you've got your weekly trend guide, the tier 1 end of week cheat, which we blew through, which is kind of surprising. We don't normally see that on the indices all that often. We haven't reclaimed it actually on ES for the expected move cheat for the week, and NQ now as well, so this could have been a good sized trap. We'll just have to wait and see how we open. In any event, below that there's trend strength. We'll have to watch that one and see how we react to it from below. We did pick up and include, right, the 200-day, the February low, supply and demand low, and then there's horizontal ray at that 393.56, which you can see has been some support for us in the past. So now we'll be kind of testing it from below. So we'll have to see how this one plays out there. But below that, you've got a bigger zone. All right, that's where you get your trend guide reversal, monthly trend guide, weekly. Tier 2 cheat, tier 1 OPEX, which was built and calculated, what, February 17th is its expected move. So that's already coming up here pretty big. And then you've got supply and demand zone. To really probably think of this as a div. And if we do start to open up and get above yesterday's close, and this photo ADR is just going to move up into that area. And then I expect that this full ADR will probably come up somewhere into here, but these two areas, these are big. Like, this is just massive space here. 390 area. I mean, this is just a lot of open room. Almost argue there's some other pieces we could set up here. Anyway, I mean, buy looks kind of clean already, just like that. Yeah, it's interesting there. 390.57. There's definitely some structure actually right in the middle of all this here. Well, it's interesting too. It's the came down and hit the top of this candle here. Hit it looks like to damn near, pretty damn close to the T yesterday. To the tick. Yeah, that's definitely interesting there. I actually think we marked that up as a div now that I say all that. All charts. Slate gray. I know this part's probably painful as hell to watch, folks, but just part of the process. Okay, so we're actually going to add that and treat that as a div, and then I think we're good there. I do like how there's that structure right there, and we were really right on it yesterday, and we've been trying to push from it overnight as well. I do know we dipped below that. I looked at SPY this morning. Yeah, overnight we traded down on SPY all the way to 388. So we came actually all the way down here, and looks like we pretty damn well tagged that weekly trend guide 2 overnight on SPY. When I look at that, I'm looking at Thinkorswim, which has extended trading hours for SPY, the Qs, SH, GLD. I think USO's in that mix now too, but there's a bunch of indices, ETFs that trade 24/5 pretty much. And so yeah, it came down really low last night on SPY there. In any event, I think that's good. Let's mark this up. And then this obviously was a bigger zone that is marked there. Full ADR, QPP, WTG4, structure, supply and demand, gap fill, tier 3, end week sheet. So that's a pretty massive zone there, actually. And the fucking light shot, so beautiful. Thanks for cutting my stuff off, you bum. All right, let's take a quick look at the Qs. Okay, so the cues. So let's see here. So it's picked up a div here at tell about it in a minute. At some structure there, 302 with full ADRs. Definitely kind of a div. It's just there's not a lot else there. Up at these levels there. I think you could actually go ahead as well and include go ahead and include this in case we do something oddie today and you have another kind of bigger ADR and go all the way back up. I mean, market will do what it wants. You can look at it probably like this. Take the top of these candles, some of that structure, and take it right to there. Capture the highs from earlier this week. And then some of that structure looks like going back a little bit. And then below that, right, you get your monthly pivots, tier 1 cheats, trend guide, photo ADR, daily anchored VWAP. And then sliding down through there, you've got your weekly pivot 20-day with some swing AV WAPs matched up against it from the 9th, so yesterday. Do have the WPP 20-day EMA marked. It's probably a little hard to see there, but it is marked, especially because you've got some swing AV WAPs coming in there, but don't have trend strength for us at least today. Underneath, you got a nice kind of one with weekly trend guide 50-day and this week's lows. The daily anchored VWAP from December 28th is just, you can see it's just below. It's closer actually with the weekly trend guide and 200 than it is with the 50 and weekly trend guide. There is also right though between those two is the tier 1 end of week cheat there, which I think we probably had come down into and touched here pre-market from the looks of it. TGR is really kind of all by itself there. I mean, there's some stuff here, but so yeah, sorry folks. Buddy elsewhere was posting a picture of our good old friend Tom Lee, and he asked for a caption. We said, "Well, it's Jim Cramer's stunt double." Anywho, I mean, there's some stuff here I just don't know about. I wouldn't say no to a tag of trend guide reversal there, but I think I wouldn't mind too for us to come down and close that gap fill from early January and take that one out there. Although we fail that, then you're going to go down further and grab your monthly trend guide, weekly trend guide, and then we expanded it to include the top edge of that supply and demand and full ADRs, which would also give us OPEX cheats and the end of week cheats tier 2. So pretty interesting on the cues there. I do think those are some nice zones though. As some pretty big sell though. That was $9 yesterday. Is that what it was? Yeah, $9 on the cues. It's actually interesting to see the SPY have a bigger move than the Qs. Semis have just been so strong. I think they did get taken out yesterday, but not as much as some of the other things, right? Like Tesla's down to like 170s or something. It's at 195s at the beginning of the week. I really wish I'd kept my short call spread there. Closed it way too early. Alright, so Yep, that's right. We kind of combined these pieces here together. And we've got that one there. We got your weekly trend guide 50 day, like we mentioned. Below that is probably the bigger zone with quarterly. This trend guides, again, all by itself. It's not terrible, but it's not our favorite for sure. Alright, and I'm gonna note that this is kind of one bigger zone here. And this one here was part of the bigger one. Wider zone, but I mean, that seems reasonable. Okay, so that's that. Start that off. Cues. March 10th. All right, and so now on to the indices. And one thing just to point out here, find my window. So indices and most everything kind of across the board with that action yesterday started coming into, we're nowhere close, we're not even remotely into any kind of the bigger pieces for buy sides. So still wouldn't mind some deeper lows on some of these to set up some buy side SEs. We're on the other side a couple weeks ago, so wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I do have some things, like, well, big surprise, guess where natural gas is again, back in a buy side, but you are getting some of those actually now with, say, like Netflix and Tesla, after it's, again, was way up at the 195s down to 173 here. XLF really got hurt big time with all that SVIB stuff, whatever else, and all the big banks yesterday too were pretty well down. So are starting to get some things coming into 20-day buy side extreme areas there. And that does remind me. So where is the Russell? Okay, so Russell and IWM. So thinking back, actually, I won't track it from a cheap perspective anymore, but I am going to add on KRE because it always ends up bottoming kind of around the area where RTY does. So it's interesting, it is up into its tier 3 max there on the 20-day. It's damn near close to the tier 3 on the 50-day yesterday, based upon how it reacted there. So that is quite interesting, especially with we're seeing where the Russell and IWM are. Anyway, let's start taking a look at ES. Bring this back over. Let's see, what do we need to adjust from last night? Well, photo ADRs came down, so did full quite a bit actually. So this is no longer a ADR zone. It's nice. Neither is this, because photo ADRs came down. They're actually really close now to trend strength. And kind of with that, I think it would actually drag up trend strength here. When I did it last night, I pulled it down based upon where things are at. I think it actually dragged this up and capture the swing AV WAP there. It's going to be probably anchored right about here. Slight difference, 60-minute versus 5-minute, which is what that one is there. Obviously have a nice low here overnight, which is up there. I'm trying to get above that close gap fill from last night. I think I'd actually drag this up here now and capture that, and probably bring this above supply and demand. It's kind of where some of this wick stuff was last week and this week and stuff here. I guess that was this week actually. And get rid of this notation and those arrows. Oh, I didn't see that overnight. We did come down and we back tested this trend line going all the way back to the December 21 highs. We dipped just a little bit below it actually. I didn't notice that. Of course I was asleep. And I didn't see that when I was looking at this earlier. Davy Wap is trash. Yes, smartass, I do sleep. And no, I don't plug myself into the wall. Good to see that our buddy's still listening. Maybe if he woke up on time. So I think here, the more I think about this one, I'm not going to take it to the bottom edge. I'm going to actually drag it up to include the structure we've seen there in the past at 4010. So it had it originally marked at kind of the bottom edge supply and demand, but I think it'd take it up to capture the 4010 structure we've seen, along with WPP 50-day and 20-day EMAs there, as opposed to the bottom edge again. Probably think of this 4034 if we do. That would be unbelievable. But I would probably just think of that as a div. I want to be careful we're not thinking too bullish by any means though, because we could just continue to fail here. So below, all right, we still have the, we dick for ticked TGR overnight, so maybe they come back and fill that and collect it overnight. Dip just a little bit below that, again, trend line from the December highs of 21. But man, we fail that in, I mean, photo ADRs, weekly trend guide 3, tier 1 daily cheats, quarterly pivot, I mean, that's down, shit, that's down another 50, 60 some points from where trend guide is. 40 some points from the looks of it actually. And then failing that, you got even further with full ADRs, weekly trend guide 4, tier 1 end of week, and the OPEX cheats are in there too. That's a pretty massive royal flush zone there. And then we marked up, just if we decided to just continue the bigger outside move, is that monthly trend guide 2, weekly trend guide 5, like, you know, just being cognizant of, you know, if it decides to keep going, that would be the next one down below with everything there. So that would be unbelievably massive, and it would come back and grab kind of this wick way back here, right with the December low. If we decide to do something, and that's some nice stuff through there at that 3800 level just by itself, which would be kind of the bottom edge of this stuff here. It does make me think that maybe we mark that actually. Yeah, especially looking at this all the way back here. It's right in there too. That's pretty nice. Okay, in any event, I think that will be it for ES on us. Won't note the ABCD because we already completed it yesterday. Pretty damn near close to the projection tick, which was unreal because we don't normally do well on forward projections of those. Oh, I'd hate to see our win rate. I think it's pretty bad. Or guess rate, I should say, not win rate. Yeah, and like I said, like we did come down and are tagging some of this lower edge of the symmetrical extremes here. So it's not to say like we won't continue here. So trying to be, pretty cautious that we don't get ourselves all riled up and think it too bullish, and then we just continue into something like this that we've had in the past little while, even back in December, right? Like we kept going. Just trying to see if there's any similarities or any patterns, just looking real quick. That one's kind of there. And we pulled back a little bit and then pushed. So anywho, enough pontificating. We'll mark that. I think that's overall pretty decent. So first one, like we said, is this WPP 50, and below that we've got trend guide and stuff. Next is the weekly trend guide with the tier 1 end of week cheat, and we rolled that up to include supply and demand. Then you have trend strength, which now includes photo ADRs, 200-day swing AV WAP from yesterday's highs. Below that we have that bigger zone that we talked about, and I have to undo this because I zoomed in and moved stuff up too high. And I can't see all the zones. Add in zone outside. Ooh, crap, that's just the tier 2 cheat. What was the piece in here? Oh, we needed to reflect the fact that we combined this block here. And I'm not going to note the fact that we marked that upside zone. That would be 150 points from here. So I think that's good for ES. Yes. And come over here and post as well real quick. Yes. Okay, go over to the Q, NQs that is. That's pretty damn interesting there too, right? And that's still Brink, really. Like, that's the one that we noted yesterday in prep and the past couple other times too. What's interesting here too, I don't know why I didn't note that last night when I was reviewing this stuff, is this trend line here. And kind of where it sits. And drag that up to include it. Go ahead and get rid of this because we spiked yesterday at the onset, and actually get rid of this one here too. And I'm pretty sure this is invalid coming all the way back, yeah. Okay, and then from the lows, if I get the right box. Lost my mouse. Okay, so hard to see, but there is a zone marked right there. The way we've blown right through that makes me kind of wonder about having that bunch either. Although it is, excuse me, it is gap fill from yesterday. Weekly trend guide, tier 1 end of week cheat. It's right next to that 50-day and stuff. We could make that one bigger zone, which is I think what we did yesterday. 1260. It's just that's 60 some points, so it's pretty big. I'd kind of like to see it actually stay in for us to bounce off of that, but I don't really care for the fact that you're back to back on top of zones here again, with where quarterly's sitting up and where this one's setting up. Yeah, because that quarterly trend guide just fuck. 1256. Yeah. And this daily looks like a freaking mess. It's like a 2-year-old came and drew through here. I know why we have those lines, but man, that's just messy. Pretty nice hold overnight too, actually, on that daily anchor VWAP from December 26th. And the 200, that proved to be a nice little bounce area there. Still remains kind of a brink area, even though you've got trend guide reversal right below it there, and March's lows for that matter. It pretty damn well held that trend line there too. Los Angeles today. What? Oh. I read that wrong. I thought it said Los Angeles today, then never trading again. I was like, what? Yeah, good luck with the never traveling again. I said I'd never move to Texas. Okay. I think we're probably just going to leave that there, especially with seeing how that last hourly candle came right up and tagged quarterly trend guide. Now we're back and kind of testing out the weekly trend guide, daily anchored VWAP there. We could, I mean, yeah. How big is this zone here though? So 12, 150, 160, 142. So what I'm looking at here is, do we include kind of this structure-ish area at the 145 level? Again, we'll put things back to back. I think I'd rather see it come up and tag the photo tier 1 daily cheat 20-day as opposed to coming down for this structure. And especially because this daily anchored VWAP should keep falling here actually as well. So that should put us in that area there. Yeah, I don't know that I see a whole lot that I want to change from last night actually. If we do take out this kind of brinkish area and then wipe through the trend guide reversal, March's lows, I don't know I'd bother much with photo ADR, tier 1 daily cheat there. It's there, would watch it for a div. Have to check price action with breadth and everything, but I think I'd be much more interested in watching this lower level. It's pretty big lower level here in fact. The monthly trend guide, weekly trend guide to tier 2 weekly cheat, tier 1 OPEX, and then supply and demand low. And then of course we have the tier 2 daily dotties or daily cheats just right beneath it. So that's yeah. And like I said, above, there's definitely some good evidence stuff there too. That full ADR, we'll have to watch and see what we keep doing. That full ADR may come down into that daily trend guide area there. Okay, I think we'll mark that up. I think that's overall pretty good. Really like how it also held that trend line there. Obviously ES was a different one where it was back testing the December 21 highs, but this is holding that December lows, made a third touch of it overnight. Okay, we got this. Probably will keep an eye on trend strength today. The fact that we're failing that quarterly trend guide does not make things look obvious, or good I should say, for bulls. I don't really like though that this is just so much crap back to back to back. So if I'm watching this today, I don't even know what my day looks like yet, but if I'm watching this for today, don't know I'd do anything at trend strength unless we're at a really good spot with breadth. The weekly pivot photo ADR one, I think it would be pretty interesting, especially because you got the 20-day EMA in there. You have the tier 1 daily cheats, the weekly pivot, the structure. I mean, that actually could be a pretty good one. with being unable to kind of crack back through here with the way this had been acting as support. You know, it had acted as resistance before. So I think this would be a pretty good area that I'd want to play with there at that one. And above that, I think I'd probably ignore trend guide and want to see it go and tag MPP full. So a rating 0, 1, 2 type of scale, 0 avoid, 1 okay. You got to see how everything else lines up. Like, this is probably a 2 for me, and this is a 2. Trend strength, like I said, this is probably only a 1 actually with the 200. Want to see where other indices and things are at and whatnot. And this is definitely a 2 down here. We come all the way down to this level. That'll have been 300 points for the day. So back-to-back ADRs. It'd be a really, really big one. And then if we fail that, man, like, I don't know, I'd want to touch anything again at all for the rest of the day. Because now we're just in this bigger space. So, anywho. Pre-market NQ. And come over here, NQ. All right, now let's pull up and look at RTY. Well, it takes just a few seconds to load now. I'm gonna grab some coffee. Sorry about that, folks. I had to get a couple other things too at the same time. So RTY here. Let's see what we've got on it. So a nice kind of zone there at the lows, damn near to the tick overnight too. That's always so cool to see. So trend guide reversal, weekly trend guide 4. Let's go ahead and draw. Swing a VWAP there. If we fail that area, we've got weekly trend guide 5 below that with monthly trend guide 2, tier 2, end of week cheats, top edge supply and demand, photo ADRs in there as well. Crap, I forgot to turn that back on. We need to turn back on our VPOCs. Oh yeah, like that too. There's an NVPOC right in that area too, so that'd be really cool actually if we came down there in RTY. That would, it was already a pretty strong zone for me there too, but that would be really interesting actually on that. Fail that, you got a kind of a bigger zone down here at the lows as well. I actually combined the zone and the div there, if you look on the right, in the prep note output. And so it's the quarterly pivots on mine. I do track up to 7 levels of R1, S1, so weekly trend guide 6, tier 2, sorry, Daily cheat, it looks like on that, yeah, and then full ADRs. So that's pretty interesting. And there's an NVPOC right beneath that. So in looking this in actuality, we'll probably drag this down here a little bit. Have it as a bigger zone for sure, but grabbing that NVPOC quarterly pivot, but I mean it's a wide one, would probably start looking at seeing where KRE, IWM, XBI, kind of where that stuff's at before entering this one, because we could come all the way down from this. This is a really big zone on RTY, but it would probably start looking here to see where the rest of breadth and stuff is at, and if KRE's at its bigger buy side symmetrical stream, would probably think about looking for what is it called, TNA, which is the leveraged ETF for the Russell. Not a recommendation to buy or sell, just noting what I would do. Doesn't mean I will. Looking up above this, I don't like at all. There's just a back-to-back zone there. That would be stupid and nasty. So I think I'd actually drag it down like this. Should be weekly trend guide 3, 200 day. Looks like that's where it was kind of originally, so I don't know why it got moved. 30 week minimum ADR tier would probably be about there. And then above that, you get your tier 1 OPEX, tier 1 end of, no, tier 2 end of week cheat, sorry. Photo ADRs in that area, so photo ADRs came down actually. I don't really care for how you have that right back to back with weekly trend guide 2 though. It's only 6 points higher and you already have your next zone. I don't think you want to combine monthly trend guide with weekly. I don't know, maybe maybe that'd be the better one. 45. Ignore trend strength maybe. With how we just sliced right through it yesterday. I think it may change actually the way this is set up and actually ignore. I think I may actually ignore this like that and change this, treat that gap fill there as a div actually. And treat this like this, I think, instead. And treat the trend strength really more as just a div. And treat that weekly trend guide, monthly trend guide, tier 2 end of week cheat. Let's see where this wing AV WAP ends up. It's probably going to be right below there. Right above there, I should say. Probably closer to trend strength. Yeah. That will be a failure. Should have put that there. So would you move? Kind of like where that's at though, especially 1850's got some structure through on a daily. Right now that is now full ADRs there. Definitely want to think of this as a div coming up to that fuller level there if we do push all the way back. That's how I think I'd look at and watch this one here today for RTY. And like I said, it is already coming down a little bit there into its tier 1 SE buy side. Alright, let's see. I don't think there's anything else in through there. I think overall that's pretty good. And definitely agree that KRE is definitely in there with the buy side. And just to reiterate again too, I'd mentioned this before, but KRE, I mean it's into its tier 3 the way I carve up. You can see here on the on a symmetrical extreme graph, right? So you got your minimum, kind of what the average is. We come up and tag more times than not, and then it's into 3 buckets above there. Same thing on the downside, kind of where's your minimum, what's the average that we end up hitting. So yeah, I mean we're nowhere near the maximum by any means, but we are definitely, this is RTY here obviously, so RTY is definitely into its average, getting close to that. Actually, yeah, it's through its average. So KRE is moving towards its maximum, which if we hit, that's normally a good signal for IWM, RTY, etc. Anyways, with that, I'm going to mark this up. I really like that trend line there too that we're trying to hold on the Russell from the October lows. Okay, so upside you have weekly 20. Oh, actually I took that down. I did not include annual pivot because it was just way outside there. Dragged it down to include that block. And then here we have this block, we have this block. We adjusted this to be like that. And then we made this a bigger zone here. And that is RTY. I feel like I'm in a jazz lounge now. Nice and calm talking. Alright, YM, running behind from where I want to be. So we're gonna skip through YM here, especially because I don't remember seeing really good zones in here when I was looking at it last night. Definitely don't like this potential on ABCD there. If you're, wanting to see new highs anytime soon, that's really not looking good on an ABCD projection. Could do like what ES is doing, right? And come back and kind of retest this from above. It's part of why I kind of left this on there for a little bit. This box, though, I am going to get rid of because I do not care about it anymore at this point. This trend line that we have clearly broken out below, taken out, I should say, below. Okay, so on this one, monthly pivot 320, so 44. That's too wide of a zone there by itself. Actually, maybe get rid of this, and 20 days is going to keep coming down. So probably adjust it like this, actually. So you get the bottom edge of supply and demand, weekly pivot, and that 20-day, like I said, is going to keep coming down. Below that, you've got annual pivot with a bunch of swing anchored VWAPs. Then you end up coming into, looks like ADRs there. No, I don't want dark gray. I want the very first D, which is Dodger blue. Should say Cubs blue. Bastards. Yeah, it's full ADR. It's hard to see behind all these swing AV WAPs, right behind weekly trend guide, daily trend guide. Actually, it's weekly trend guide reversal. And this zone should come down and grab the tier 3 daily cheat. So I think that's kind of outside. Like, given where these are at, like, that's probably your max upside. This would be, and that's a third deviation move on what that's looking at for today, really. So I'm not paying much attention above here too much, candidly. Like, yeah, we moved 800 points yesterday, but we've already moved 300. I know that's where full ADRs are, but this would be 3 deviation again, which I guess is possible. We'd have to look at and see from our back tests we've looked, or they're now back tests, from our testing before, if that, how often that actually happens. We get 2 back-to-back days and a 3 standard deviation there. I would include this here as well, actually. Seems like a bit with some back-to-back stuff there, but with how we bounced yesterday off of weekly trend guide reversal 2, we rejected it before. We've got gap fill just above. It's something to keep an eye on there. Down below, a much bigger level, trend guide reversal, supply and demand, naked VA. It's interesting that this tier 3 is there. Yeah, YM's not really my most favorite here today for sure. There's just a lot of crap. So I'm not going to spend a lot more time on it here. It's lower quality in my mind for watching. If I do anything with it, it'll just be if the algo picks up something and wants to fire a trade-off on it. My guess is it's not going to, based upon where things are at and stuff. If it did, it would be if we did come all the way back down into this area here, which is a bigger zone. So I don't think it would pick up on anything unless we came all the way back down here to that naked VA weekly trend guide stuff there. So it's just not something that I like here today. And this actually probably need to expand. That's why I just don't like it. Like, it just, you really have to expand this one to be like that in order to pick up the 200 day. Like I said, I don't think that's any way remotely possible, but whatever. I do not like you. YM, I do not like you. YM and ham. Alright, give me one more second. We'll pull up GC and CL here. Alright, and what are we on? We are on GC first. And what has GC done already? Ooh, interesting. It's reclaiming the tier 1 end of week cheat into that gap fill. Do want to just remind folks too, right? You got NFP here about half an hour. Reminder, NFP. Less than 30 minutes. Okay, there's GC. I must not have run some of that stuff. That's interesting. I think I definitely actually want to track that area. It probably did, and I probably, no, it didn't. Yeah, it makes sense why it didn't. So I'll probably watch if we come back here. I'd probably actually look at it like this. Make sure we capture that swing anchored VWAP there. Don't want to lose sight of this one though either. From about 10 o'clock or so, 11 o'clock last night. You can see it there already marked on the 5 minute, but I'm just going to see what this one looks like here. Nope, it's definitely trash. Full ADRs has come down, so we're much closer to that daily anchored VWAP now. So to get rid of this, actually you just drag it down and it makes a nicer div here now than it did last night. With the daily anchored VWAP, gap fill, full ADR, and then right beneath that you have the tier 1 daily cheat. So that's actually a lot better than it was last night when this got drawn up for us. This is looking less and less likely at this point. It's still there, especially given we have OpEx cheat on it. There should be an interesting test here from below with annual pivots, trend guide reversal, weekly pivot, 20 days continuing to come into it there. The daily anchored VWAP we're actually above it now from the highs. 20 and 50, yeah, they're damn near on top of each other. And then above that, as you can see, there's that daily from the second. So overall, I'd say that looks pretty good. I'm not going to do much else with it. I would guess... Yep, there's a nice little trend line there on the daily. It's not going to line up to be a transfer trend line there. Maybe you get it through here, but that's not the same slope from the looks of it. It's pretty similar, but it's not exactly the same slope, but it is a nice little channel they're forming. So anyways, and the rest of it would be way outside. Similar. Yes, I know that's not the right arrow. I don't care. You can take your arrow and you know what. Okay, so if you fail those... And this guy was actually closed. There's no gap fill there. But we do have March's lows in this area. It is no longer full ADRs because full ADRs have moved up. And I'm not going to unhighlight that at this point. You fail that, and then we do set up for these bigger ones down here, which would adjust and modify to grab that gap fill as part of that bigger piece there. I don't see that as something today at this point. That'd be really massive. And we're starting to reverse here, but you could also set up, I guess, for something that you do like this, maybe. I'll come back to that. Never mind. GC. Because I need to double check what I have on my calendar for today, because I look and I don't save that to memory. CL, I'm sure, will be a mess. Not the most extreme that I've seen before. Okay. Alright, so this ABCD is trash. And this Daily Inc. VWAP is trash. This one needs to be dragged up to the highs. Now it lines up with the 20-day, which is that swing A VWAP right there in that same area. Full ADRs are going to keep, based upon the way we're trending right now, we're going to keep coming down into this photo ADR area. Swing A VWAP. I just don't know if I care about that trend strength, given that its proximity to this other stuff there. I do like that there's some structure right there. So I guess maybe. I guess, yeah. I just don't like how close it is here to the tier 1 end of week cheap monthly pivot, monthly trend guide. You maybe take this and move it down to just capture the top edge or the bottom edge of supply and demand like that and such. definitely a div. Definitely a div down here. This one should be really interesting. With the structure there, gap fill, tier 1 daily cheat. Fail that, and then we come down deeper and grab the weekly trend guide photo full. ADR as well. Structure, supply and demand, that's pretty big there. Don't think we need 2 supply and demand zones there. Have to look at that. It's way too close to each other. And that would be, we're already at $1, so yeah, don't see that one happening. And what I was wondering here, same kind of thing you saw on gold. Yeah. So that'll be really, that definitely makes this zone bigger kind of one they want to watch, and would definitely cause a lot of pain, I think, to a lot of people that I know that I've seen and have chatted with that are super bullish on oil still. It'll probably put us, actually we're coming pretty close here. Where would that be? 73.61, so be right testing that channel there, so it could dip below it. Do a lower low against this one, but then still do a higher low versus this candle back here. And in fact, could even look like this. If we were to do something like that, where you go from here to here, and then this would put you to tag up that 30 week. So I think CL could be interesting there. I may actually put a resting order or two. I think that would actually get picked up by the algo too. I have to back and see too what's its win ratio on longs versus shorts though. And yeah, I think that's a good zone there for CL. These lower ones I don't really like as much. Just it's too much. It's picked up the supply and demand stuff there too much. And I'm not going to go any lower than, if it takes out this zone, I don't know I'm going to care about it today. We aren't trading $8. We aren't going to go up there. $4 would be kind of pushing it. Again, this one we took down actually, so it's closer to this zone here. Trend guide all by itself, again, don't really care for it that much. We built that as a custom from the looks of it. And then we made this a bigger zone. Maybe that's the better way to do these, is just focus on the ones we'd actually trade off of. So div, level, gap fill, tier 1, D, sheet, structure. So I would watch this, but this is the one I'd probably really like and watch for. So 2, 1, 0 in terms of things that I pay attention to. 0, 2, and 2. If I'm wrong here at MPP, then probably would wait until the top edge, you know, the 20-day on this one. So, anywho, that is it. I'm gonna paste that and go check some other things to get ready for NFP coming up here. Hope y'all have a great one, and if we don't chat And hope you all have a great weekend. Hopefully it's been a great week, and we'll catch y'all later. Bye now. And for the rest of you here with us on YouTube or watching after the fact, appreciate you hanging out with us and going through everything. Hope you guys have a great week and a good day, and we will catch y'all, I guess it'll be Monday next week. Do have some upcoming travel here in the next couple weeks. Going to be gone for probably it'll be a week, so won't have these for probably that first week of April from the guesses of it. And have a lovely jury thing that we have to go to here soon. So we'll have to see if we're able to continue these during that time period or not. So do hope y'all again have a great one.